Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry it's a little bit later than I like to get this opened, but had a quick tech glitch, but everything's good now. And I appreciate everybody's hopping on and really excited today for our flawless follow-up program process that I'm going to share with you, give you some awesome stuff and things I think you'll see that you can use in your agency that's really going to make a huge difference when it comes to the amount of sales you can actually close and just missed opportunities. So really excited about that. Now on your right hand side, you'll see a chat bar. If you could just let me know you hear me okay, that way I know my mic's working. The tech issue wasn't my mic, it was something different. So my mic should be just fine. Just let me know you can hear me, that way I know I am talking to you and not just to myself, and we will get rolling in about a little bit over 90 seconds, a couple minutes here. So awesome, everybody's saying they can hear me, really excited about that, can't wait. We have a packed house today, which is awesome. We sold all, or not sold because it was free for you to get on, but we took up all our spots we had available. We had 50. And so everybody's starting to log on now. So pretty excited about that. And hopefully everybody will show up. So hang tight and we will get going in just a moment. Oh, and real quick, let me know. Yeah, the video's not playing right now. Nope, there's no video that's supposed to be playing. It's just my website. Let me know if you are here. Watch, I'll move the screen. Not frozen. See? So let me know if you have seen or have been on any of our trainings yet this week. Let me know if this is your first, second, or third one you've done this week. And if you've done other ones, let me know what you've thought of them so far. I'm going to assume if you've done them before and you're here again, you must have liked it somewhat. Awesome. Thank you, April. And just another minute, I want to make sure we get everybody on that wants to be. Great. Thanks, Linda. All right. A few of you, it's your first one, so we welcome you. And yeah, it might look like the video's frozen here, guys. It's not. This is just my website. So that's working. And people, I know it's 3 o'clock right on the dot here. People are still logging in, which is partially my fault because I didn't open up the room more than a few minutes before. So we're just going to hang tight real quick here for everybody to get on. And then we'll get rolling. All right, so it's kind of a split room. We got people, this is their first one, other people who have done the other ones this week with us. So cool. All right, give me like, I don't want to hold you guys up too much, so let's give it another 30 seconds because people are still signing in. But then we'll get going because I don't want to take up more time than you need to, because I know you guys are busy and got lots to do today. Anybody got any sales today? How many people at least have one sale today? Nice job, Linda. That's what I like to hear. All right, people got sales. Good. All right, well, we are going to get rolling here. I know people are still going to be logging in, but they'll catch up with us. So we're not working off this website. I just wanted to put something up here because like yesterday, if you joined us, we talked all about Facebook lead generation, which was really awesome. A lot of people got a lot of good stuff out of it. I got a lot of cool emails after. So today, once again, we're not doing a PowerPoint presentation. Don't worry, the screen's not frozen. It's just there. So we are going to work off really one specific sheet that you'll have access to, but we're going to talk about it too. All right, so I'm going to bring that on your screen. So give me just a second here. All right, hopefully everybody can see that okay. All right, so today we are talking about flawless follow-up. And so the big thing is, and this is not just are we working off this sheet today, but I want to make sure that we're communicating back and forth. It is going to be a lot of back and forth here today. So if you're committed to being active and want to stay to the end of this thing, I got something pretty cool to show you at the end as well, and access to a bunch of cool stuff, 100% free I'm going to put on here. So if you are committed to stay to the end, I want you to just type commit. I want to make sure we're all on board and just ready to have some fun here and really not just learn from me, but learn from each other. So type commit if you're committed to stay until the end and checking all this cool stuff out. And so we are going to work off this today. This is my flawless, I call it the closing crusher, but the flawless follow-up process I've been talking about. And so the key here is we have to understand and recognize, which we already should, right, that your sales aren't going to usually come from that first interaction. We know that. Okay, so I got a question for you. I'm going to type the question in here. What is the average amount of contacts? And by contacts, I mean phone calls, email, direct mail, all that good stuff, face-to-face. What is the average amount of contacts it takes to get 80% of sales? What number do you think that is? I want to hear some guesses. What is the average amount of contacts it takes to get 80% of sales? So I'll wait for some answers to come through here. And there's a reason I'm asking this question. It's actually very important. And this is where, you know, a lot of my training and webinars, like I always say, I like to not just train, but I like to implement. So that being said, this is also something where you have to understand in your agency, you have to be honest with yourself, right? You have to be honest with yourself. So that's one thing I'm going to be asking you to do, is to be honest with yourself and just really think about the best thing to do. Okay. All right. We got answers all over the place here. And I appreciate everybody participating. So there's not one singular answer. I would say Karen was the closest. Travis and April, you're right up there too. So the average number of contacts it takes to sell 80% of your policies is 5 to 12 contacts. 5 to 12 contacts, right? And now, so that being said, I want you to think about something. How many times, and this is where you got to be honest, and I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to your staff too, because they're such a big important part of this, because they're the ones selling a lot of the times. How many times does your staff make at least, at minimum, 5 contacts to one prospect? Do you think that sometimes, never, all the time? Let me know. I want to see where your agency's at. And we're not here to criticize anybody. We're all here to get better. So we're not trying to put anybody on the spot. How many times does you or your staff contact a lead prospect at least 5 times? Sometimes, very rare. All right, and it looks like everybody's being honest. That's good. That's absolutely good. Linda, that's a good point too, which we'll talk about that a little bit. All right, so now imagine this. So I just said 80% of sales happen between 5 to 12. So that means if you're not hitting the contacts at least 5 times every time, you could potentially be missing out on 80% of your sales, which is roughly 3.5 to 4 times your current volume. So I don't need your numbers. You don't have to type this in. But I want you to think about how many sales you have in a month and what it would mean to you if you could increase them 3 to 4 times. If you did the follow-up properly. Like I said, I don't need to know your numbers, but you know in your head what your number is. And so this is what this process is going to do. This process is going to hopefully make up for those missed opportunities. All right, so we're going to start at the top left here. And we are going to work off some other things today, not just this sheet, but I want to start here. So the top left is your initial lead. And what I mean by that is no matter how they came in contact with you. So I don't care if this is an internet lead, a call-in, a telemarketing lead, door-to-door, however you got the lead, all right, this is what I mean by the initial lead, and it can be absolutely anything. All right, so let's first start. All right, I want to pay attention to, let's just go through the process. Hopefully you guys can see my mouse there. So obviously, if we sell the thing, great, it's done, it's sold. But the statistics show normally out of all your sales, if you take a year's worth of sales and ones that you sell literally on first contact, it's no more than 5% most of the time. Most of the time is no more than 5% on first contact. Okay, so this is not going to be the usual. It does happen, obviously. All right, but obviously if it's sold, we're good to go. Most of the time, you're going to get a no of some sort. And this is where the strategy begins. We have to figure, and this is something you have to teach your staff, what the different types of no's are. Because sometimes we get a no and we don't realize it. Or maybe you do as the agent, but your staff doesn't realize it. So when I say no, there's 3 different no's I think about. All right, there's kind of a soft no, where you're not getting a sale, but you have a firm appointment set. And what I mean by that is it is a set date and time over the phone in the office within the next 2 weeks. I'm not talking 2 months from now. I'm talking within the next 2 weeks. It's a set firm time. And that's one thing you always have to teach your staff too, is when somebody is trying to get off the phone with you, a prospect, and they're saying, you know what, give me some time to think about this, and I hear a sales producer say, okay, well, can I give you a call next week? Person says, sure. And you can't do that. What needs to happen is your staff needs to say, okay, no problem. Can I give you a call in 3 days around 2 o'clock or whatever time you're probably talking to them may be the best too. And so we want something firm, set up and firm. If it is not a firm appointment, it's not a soft no. All right. If it's not a firm appointment, I'm going to actually put this over here to the middle box. Like I said, hopefully you guys are seeing my mouse, where they're not interested at the time. All right. And one thing that used to drive me nuts, and you can't let your staff do this to you, excuse me, is when, your staff comes to you, you may be asked, how'd that prospect look? How'd that lead look? Whatever. And they come back to you and be like, oh, you know what? It looked good. They said to, follow up with them in about a month or 2 months or at their renewal. All right. You can't, and I don't mean to be harsh here, but you can't let your staff walk away from that interaction feeling good about that call, right? You have to just step back and say, okay, well, so are they interested now or not? And the reason, obviously, we know they're not interested now, but what I need you to do to your staff is make them think in their own mind, say the words, no, they're not interested now. Because now that prospect is a whole different thing. It's not a maybe sale, it's a no sale. And that's going to make them either A, go back to the drawing board and figure out how to sell them now, or B, help them in a future conversation. All right, does that make sense, you guys? Why we want our staff to recognize, we're not trying to beat them up, we're not trying to be mean, but we need to understand if someone's interested or if they're not interested. There is no maybe. All right, so either they're buying within the next few days or they're not buying. That's it. Now, it's great. We got a follow-up. We're going to go through that, but we need to understand and have our staff understand that if somebody's not interested, we need to have that mentality, as opposed to trying to psych ourselves out thinking we did a great job, we got to follow up in a month. All right, because that's not what we're going for. Okay, so anyway, that's the soft no, as I call it, right? The one that are firm appointments. Okay, and we'll deal with the boxes after this in a second. But let's go to the middle here. So this is your classic not interested at all, no, or maybe not even qualified. All right, so that, and if you have that prospect that's like, call me in a month, that's still not interested currently. Okay, so you're going to put that here in this middle box. And like I said, we'll move on to the following boxes, but I want to go over the 3 no's. So this is more what I call a hard no. And this last one is one that's pretty classic, right? It's a no, but they didn't say no. And why didn't they say no? Well, because after the initial contact, how many times does this happen? After your initial contact, you can't get a hold of them again. You go to follow up with again, and you can't get a hold of them. How many times? Let me know how many times that happens. Out of, is it 1 out of every 10 prospects, 2, 3? Let me know in your case how often that happens. It's a very, very common occurrence that we all have issues with. This is not something that just your agency has a problem with. This is a problem across the country. I talk to thousands of agents on a monthly basis, and everybody has this issue. And we're going to figure out how to overcome it today too. But a lot of the times it's, can't get a hold of the customer. All right. And so that's another type of no. Even though the client's not saying no to you, they're not saying yes. and there's never a maybe, right? So if a client, write this down if you can. If a client's not saying yes, they are saying no. As simple as a statement as that sounds, it actually makes a big difference. There is no maybe, right? Okay, so let's focus on this bottom line here, because I want to, I want to go ahead and I want to go ahead and go through this first. Let me see, I got a question out here. Audrey, good question. So if you call them and they get upset, they're not on the do not call list, absolutely. I still think you put them in the requote process, but you don't want to mess with do not call rules and laws. So we're going to requote them. I'm going to show you in a minute. We're going to do it different ways other than phone calls. Yep, but good question. So couldn't get a hold of the customer. So this process, I'd love to tell you I'm a genius and I thought of this on my own and I did it and it worked, but that would be a lie. So this process actually was kind of the brainchild between me and my agency's top producers. I had one guy that was selling 80 policies a month by himself. And you know what? He did this process without even knowing that he did this process. He was the best salesman I've ever seen. He probably better than I am. He probably is. So, what he basically did was we would break up our follow-ups in 3 ways. So here's the 3 ways we'd have. I'll type them in here. Follow-ups. We had phone calls, email, direct mail. And you could even get social media sometimes. I'm not going to put that as a firm one, but those are the 3 ways we follow up. So phone calls, email, direct mail. So I hope the first thing you're doing is, if you're not selling the policy, no matter what type of no you got, you're at least emailing and mailing the quote out day 1. That's the first thing you need to do, right? So day 1, mail, email. All right. And then after that, what we did was we made it a 3-day process. Okay. So we'd email and mail after we talked to them the first time. We'd wait 2 days. On 3, we'd give them a follow-up call. And then we'd also, guess what? Do mail and email. So what you got to remember is every 3 days, we're doing this process, right? Until they tell us to buzz off. So when I say contacts 5 to 12, I'm not saying we're calling them 12 times. You call somebody 12 times, they're going to get tipped off and they're not going to want to do business. But contacts between all these different methods is what we're looking at here. So every 3 days, we would do a phone call and an email. And then remember, since we're mailing on that day too, they're not getting that mail, depending on when you send it, till the next day or the day after. So you're not hitting with all 3 in one day. The mailing, which is important, your direct mail, the mailing is something that's kind of breaking it up. All right, so you're going to do this every 3 days. And now people ask, how long do I do this for? Right? How long do I do this for? So basically how I put it is, once you get to calls, so we're over like a 2-week period now, that's probably when we're going to stash it into our quote requotes. All right. So that's when I'm going to put it on the chat bar here. So approximately 15 to 16 days. And stop and put in follow-up. Okay. All right, so let's go to the follow-up. Now, obviously, when it's sold, we don't mess with anything else. So let's go back up to this red square where it was the soft no. All right, so let's say it's not sold, no appointment. Needs to then go into your X-date quote. And now I see this as e-agent alliance. I initially did this for all state agents. Any company, though, or CRM has something, hopefully you have something, that you can put your X-dates in. All right, so let me ask this question. So let's see, today is March 22nd. I call you for a quote. You don't sell me. You follow this whole process. I'm a jerk. I don't buy from you, whatever. My renewal was April 1st. Okay, so when you're going to put my X date is obviously October 1st, because that's when my next renewal is. When is your staff going to open up this lead to contact them again? If my next renewal is October 1st, when are you going to set the actual, not the X date, but the requote date for your staff? At what point are you going to do that? My renewal is coming up October 1st, and you need to requote me. When is your staff going to pull up my quote and start contacting me again? Yes, thank you. All of you are smart. Yes, absolutely. September 1st, 30 days, 30 days. 60 days can work too, April. Yep. I just want to make sure we're not doing it on, the last week of September. But yeah, 30 to 60 days is perfect. Absolutely. 30 to 60 days works perfectly. And now it depends too. Let's say let's go off April and Steve here. So I don't mind the 60 days. I like that. So in the 60 days though, would you put a phone call out there, obviously, but maybe not do the 3 days, maybe do 5 or 6, or maybe do once a week until September and then hit them with the 3 days. And it might work for you that way. It might not. It's entirely up to you. But I'm just saying under my normal process, this is what I did. All right, so you're going to put everything into your X dates. And so number one rule too, and it kills me that I have to say this. Hopefully nobody does this, but one thing you never do. Okay, and that makes sense then, Susan. Or Suzanne, sorry, I pronounced it wrong. So one thing I never do is never delete a quote. Do you guys delete quotes? I hope not. We never, even if the person, won't qualify for 5 years, right? We don't ever want to delete a quote. You're always going to need sales, right? So never delete a quote is rule number one. And you also, we know that. Make sure your staff knows that. I find some of this stuff, the miscommunication is just simply we don't tell our staff. And we need to. All right. So make sure your staff is aware of that also, to never delete a quote. You guys know that, but let's make sure they know that. Okay. All right, so let's go back into the middle. So let's go back to this middle box, not interested at all. All right, that goes into the quote requotes. And then after that 15 or 16 days, it also is going to go into the quote requotes. All right. Yeah, and Karen, depending on your system, you might have to. Some of them are set up with tasks, some are set up with scheduling, other ones aren't. So you're going to, whatever CRM you're working off of. And actually, guys, I'm pretty familiar with most of them. So if you have questions, just shoot me an email, joe@imwithdavis.com, and I could probably help you out. I know most of them. Okay, cool. So that is the main template to your follow-up process, right? The main template to your follow-up process. So, this is all great. We know this as agents that this is what we should do. The reason I'm showing you this is we want to communicate this to staff, right? This is something we want to communicate to staff. And so, the question then becomes, well, that's great, but if someone's not calling me back, which is we already hit on was a big thing. Let's say they're down here, not calling me back. All right, this is where I don't want to say staff screw up, but I always hear they're not calling me back. And then I hear this. Here's the normal call out here is, hi, Karen, if it's a message, of course. So I'm leaving a message. Hi, Karen, this is Joe calling from the Davis Agency. Just give me a call because we had spoke about auto insurance a few days ago. Wanted to see if you had a chance to review that and had any other questions. So give me a call at your convenience, 607-999-9999. That's what I hear 95% of the time from you and your staff. All right. So you're not getting a call back for a lot of reasons there. Number one, they might have made a decision not to shop now or not to go with you. All right. And you'll just never know that because they're not going to call you back if that's the case. Or they get that message, they put it in the back of their brain, life gets busy, they don't call you back. Okay. So what I do with my agents I work with, and I've done this with several agents and it's made a difference every single time. Their increase of callbacks has been phenomenal, is a different scripting, much quicker, much easier, much more simple. Now, I also want you to know this. I never condone or believe in lying to a client. We don't want to do that. All right. So I'm never going to just BS a client. But what I am going to tell them is this. All right, so here's this message now. Okay. Hi, this is Joe calling from the Davis Agency, and I'm just giving you a call about your insurance, and I need to get in touch with you as soon as you can. Give me a call back, 607-999-9999. Done. That's it. That's your message. All right. So now this is doing a couple of things. One, it's going to pique curiosity because a lot of people, believe it or not, I mean, not everybody, but a lot of people don't really know the insurance company they're with or the agent they're with most of the time. Okay. The other thing that this does, it creates urgency. Okay. And like I said, we got that curiosity piqued. And here's the best part about that scripting. Okay. And if anybody needs me to say it again, let me know. The best part about that scripting is you're now getting a call back. And so when somebody calls you back, and then you go into your sales presentation, when they, and this is a psychological subconscious thing, when they call you back, their barriers are down, right? Their sales barriers, the walls you got to break through are down in this case. So that's why doing that script makes a huge difference. All right, somebody, yep, I'll say the line again. So, hi, Karen, this is Joe calling from the Davis Agency, and I'm just giving you a call about your insurance. If you could call me back as soon as you can, I'd really appreciate it. My number is 607-999-9999. Hang up. Simple that is. Very, very simple. Okay. So that's doing so many different things, and it's just going to get you a lot more responses, because at the end of the day, I don't care how I get somebody to call back. I don't want to lie to them, but other than lying to them, I don't care how I get somebody to call me back, as long as they call me back. All right. And once again, if they're calling you, it's the same reason that if you compare an internet lead to call-in leads, you're going to close the call-ins a lot more, because they're calling you, they're contacting you. It's a subconscious thing, right? So it's not you bothering them this time. When they call you back, it's not that they're bothering you, but subconsciously they initiated this. Okay. So that's one thing I want to keep, keep in the back of your mind when you have to leave a message, which happens a ton. All right. That's the type of scripting you need to use. All right. So let's talk about following up with email. All right. So email, a lot of the times, once again, what I'll see is something, if they email out, let's say you're doing your follow-up email after the initial one, you've already emailed them once. Let's say you're going to follow-up email them again. So basically what I see is, hi, Karen, I just wanted to email you a copy of your quote we went over the other day. If you look it over, have any questions, give me a call, blah, blah, blah. All right. Once again, not going to get your response. So, and it's not always 100% possible, but what I always try to do, and what we always did, was when I'm doing a second, third, fourth email, on that email, I'm coming up with a new idea. I'm coming up with a new thought that I just thought of for them. If we did this to your coverage or added this discount, so there's almost a purpose to the email. So instead of your subject line maybe being your quote to review, the quote we discussed, whatever it is, I thought about this for your insurance for the subject line. And then we go in there, hopefully we have something that we thought of or looked around the quote and maybe found an extra discount or something different with coverage, or had an idea for them. Get creative. And I don't mean creative in like the illegal way. I mean creative. Like, think about the prospect, what they could use, what you could do to help them in that quote to either save them money, give them better coverage. So now your email has a purpose to it. Okay. All right. So that's the initial follow-ups to everything. Yes, Karen, exactly. And I think you and I went over that a while back. Yep, absolutely. If anybody doesn't know, Karen's kind of my cheerleader, been working with me for a long time, so always appreciate her around here. So that's the basic follow-up process. All right, but like I said, scripting is equally as important. Okay, so now let's go to your different types of leads you're getting in the initial phone calls. All right, so I don't care, if it's an internet lead, depending on the lead source. Yeah, actually, if you want, let me type it in, guys. So I'll do the subject line. It's just an example. It can vary, but. That subject line, guys, is going to get you a ton more responses back. Okay. All right. So, let's go. The scripting, like I said, is equally important. So now we're going to get off of here real quick and go to, if you guys have the, where'd it go? If you guys have the playbook, you can get into this. There we go. So if you have the playbook already, you have access to these. All right. So basically it's under your masterclass section. All right. And this is the playbook. No one's ever seen it. Here it is. But it's under your masterclasses, under the follow-up and close masterclass. And then I have a presentation, kind of like the one we're doing today, but it was, I added some more stuff today. All right, so first and foremost, you can get your follow-up process. That sheet I just showed you, you can get out of here. All right. But here's the other thing with follow-up. How many of you have a post-purchase process? Let me know, do you have a post-purchase process in your agency? How many have a post-purchase process? Okay, some do, some don't. Cool. Well, if you don't, let's change it. All right. And so now when I talk about your staffing setup, and this is a whole different training, I'm not going to go deep into this today, but I always say staff specialization is key to any agency. All right. So, you know, whenever you have, if you can, let's say you got a staff of 3 or 4 people, and hopefully you have it set up or you're working towards it getting set up. You have a sales producer, and that's all they do. Maybe an admin or a CSR, that's all they do. Office manager, that's all they do. So if you have that luxury, all right, what I'd like to say is the sales producer doesn't necessarily do this. This could be done by a CSR, or even in my case, I actually had the office manager do this, right? Or sometimes we would split them. The post-purchase is something that I feel is important for a manager or agent to do if possible, okay? So first and foremost, we want to call them on the follow-up. Now, you got to give yourself some time. You're sending out cancellations, all that good stuff. So the time could be different, all right, the time frame, but either way. So voicemail, answering machine, leave the message to call them back. If you don't get an answer, you know, set for another day and maybe send a note out. Karen sends handwritten notes. I love that. That's a great thing to do. I wish I would have do that more, but I don't. If they answer, here's the conversation, or when they call you back, here's what we want to do. A few simple steps. This is a 2-minute call. You want to verify they received all their documents. That's why we're not going to do it the first day after. We want to make sure they got time to get everything. If they have trailing documents, a lot of states do. Yeah, I'll give you access to it, Sal. If they have trailing documents for whatever case, whether it's coverage or, you know, whatever for your company, your agency, make sure that's good. Make sure they understand the coverages. And I don't mean, we're not going to right at this point go through all that info, but what we are going to say is, are you comfortable with the coverage limits? I see we gave you full coverage, collision, comprehensive, whatever you want to say. Don't go through everything, but just make sure they're comfortable and they understand what they had. You know, and so also this is another good place to review, like, for instance, here's a quiz question. Somebody's going to get a gold smiley. What is the #1 coverage that agents get E&O claims on? Errors and omissions claims. Not necessarily sued for, but I guess you could say that. What is the #1 coverage that we don't put on policies that people come back and it bites us? Does anybody know? Might not be what you think. #1 coverage that comes back to bite agents on the butt. I'll wait for a few more answers. I think people are still typing. All right. All I was asking Karen was, what was the #1 coverage we forget to give people or don't give people that comes back to bite us on the butt? So file E&O claims, that kind of stuff. Spoiler alert, Steve and Travis got it right away. Rental car coverage. Yep, and Gina got it. So not that those other things you guys mentioned don't happen, because they do. Actually, Sal, water backup's big too. You're right. But rental is #1. So in this post-purchase, it's an opportunity to just make sure that they didn't want that and note it somewhere. Remember, we always want notes on this stuff. All right. So rental, towing, water backup, those kind of things is what we're bringing up when we're talking right here. All right. Make sure there's no gaps in the coverage. Okay. So like, what would an example in mine? Audrey, AAA probably won't cover rental car though. And what I mean, let me go back for a second. What I mean by rental, it's not we'll cover you in a rental loss. What it means is if you get into an accident, we'll pay for your rental car. right? That's the one that we are responsible for. Yeah, it's not, they're covered in most states, and someone tell me if I'm wrong, but most states it's pretty much automatic that your coverage carries onto a rental car. But I'm talking if they get into an accident, they need to have a rental car, and they can't, we won't pay for it because we missed out the coverage. Yep, that's all I meant on that. So when I say making sure there's no gaps in coverage, I don't mean your gap of you owe 10,000 on your car, you know, but we don't have collision. What kind of gaps, if I'm looking at liability specifically, what would stick out to me if my sales producer wrote a certain policy, I look and something doesn't look right? There's one example I see all the time, and it drove me nuts when my staff did it. What would be one example? Not that there's not others, but I'll put in the one I. Yeah, a lot of you guys are hitting this right on. Yep. Yeah, that's kind of what, Linda, that's pretty much what I consider it, right? Different limits, not the same. The one that always drove me nuts was this. Your bodily injury would be a $250,000, $500,000, your UM/UIM would be at $2,550. That would drive me insane. And it would also drive me insane when I'm quoting somebody. Basically, what I would say to them is, so what you're telling me, if this was a prospect interaction, and I saw this on a policy, I'd basically say, so what you're telling me is you want to insure the other person more than you want to insure your own family, right? Because that's kind of what they're doing. Now, I know that UM and UIM, they have limits, and usually a lot of companies don't let you go past $250,000, $500,000, some maybe up to a half. But still, point is, that's too big of a discrepancy. I'm even okay with $250,000, $500,000, 100, 300. I can live with that, but I saw this all the time with people, and they come in with their deck pages for shopping. And my staff, they would do it once in a while, and I can promise you the ones that did do it, didn't do it again because it drove me up the wall. All right, so that's what I mean by gaps in coverages. All right, so make sure there's no gaps. If you have, I know a few different companies have discounts for online, right? But it goes away if they don't set it up. So if they have that discount, or even if they don't, you still might want to go through the online setup, make sure they're set up online for convenience, right? And that's also, you know, when you do that, it gives you, it's less work for you on their end if they do stuff online. All right, and then if you did not go through this, if anybody caught my presentation on Monday, hopefully you're doing this at the sales presentation. But if not, review with them what they're going to do and what we're going to do for them in the occurrence of a claim. As long as that's part of your sales process, you can skip that part. All right, because that's your sales producer should be doing that. And then offer to the customer that they call anytime, questions, concerns. Thank them for their business and that you are, I always ended with, we look forward to serving you. That was it. All right, now other things that we want to do maybe is share other available products. So if they got auto and no home or no renters, we want to go through that. Set up a life appointment. All right, there's a bunch of stuff I have on the agency universe about all this stuff. I don't want to go through it today, you know, but we want to share other products. And also, if your company is one of those, I know Allstate is, and I don't know if Farmers is, but you have, in Allstate's world, you have something called an ACES score, which means every customer, not every, but most customers get emailed a survey. And so if that's your case, because remember that counts towards your compensation, bonus at the end of the year, all that good stuff. So if you have a company that's going to gauge and judge you on surveys, make sure you mention that to them. I see a lot of people nowadays putting on their email too, which is great. You want to make them aware of it. All right. So now our next phase, and this is literally what you're going to say to them on this post-purchase. All right. So great. We got all this stuff done. I really appreciate your time today. So our next phase is that we have to set you up with our financial or life specialist, whatever term you want to use. And I want to know what day and time works best for you. All right. That's how I got financial appointments off New Business. Because once again, let's not forget, guys, I think I might have said this yesterday or Monday. What is the happiest a client will ever be with you? You don't have to answer. I'm going to give you the answer. But the happiest a client ever, most likely, will ever be with you is the time of sale. Because you just either saved them money or gave them great protection. They're feeling good about life. Other than that, and it's not our fault, but things go wrong, right? And it's not even anything we do necessarily. They get what they think is an unfair payout on a claim. They miss a bill, they get a cancellation notice, all that stuff. The happiest somebody is ever going to be with you most of the time is off that initial sale. So that is the time to set up this stuff, right? To pace them. Okay, that's so important. I really want that to sink in, that this is the best time to do those things. And I know a lot of the times, especially on the initial sales call, we're thinking we don't want to overwhelm the client. We don't want to throw too much at them, oversell them. But the reality is that's the best time to do it. And it doesn't have to be that day that you sell it, but it could be on this process. You need to hit them at one of the two spots. All right, does that make sense, everybody? That's why we go through this stuff, the post-purchase process, not just to make sure they're happy, which is important, but to go ahead and let them know the other things we do. Okay, cool. All right, and now one thing which I am gonna, tomorrow's our referral training, so we're gonna go through that tomorrow, but I wanna give you a sneak peek of something. Now I know, I have agents on here that use this and love it. All right, but this is, once again, if you have the playbook, you'll have access to this if you're part of the universe. So the 3Ws cross-sell wizard, I actually will admit I came up with this on my own. All right, and as it looks super stupid basic, this thing works like a charm. So this is kind of an overall thing. So I'm not talking just, I mean, you want to do this at the time of sale, but you also want to do this with clients when they're in your office. All right, or you can even do it over the phone. It's 9 questions. That's it, yes or no. All right, and if it's in front of somebody, the reason it's made to look simple is so it doesn't look too cumbersome, so they'll fill it out. So hopefully everybody in this room has heard of Wheels, Walls, and Wells, the 3 Ws. That's the 3 things we take care of as an insurance agent. All right, so the first thing we ask current customers and new customers, are we insuring all your wheels? Are we insuring all your walls? Are we protecting your future well? They're gonna circle yes or no to that. If they circle no, we have a cross-sell opportunity, right? If they circle no, we have a cross-sell opportunity. All right, do you understand the coverage on all your wheels, walls, and well? Well, that leads up to a review or an appointment, which is equally as important, especially down that wealth section, okay? And lastly, what would you trust us to insure your friends or family's wheels, walls, and well? Why am I asking that question? I hope all of you know this. Why am I asking that last question of would you trust us to insure your friends or family's wheels, walls, and well? Why am I asking that? Everybody better get this right. If not, I don't do anything, but. Ding, ding, ding. Absolutely. Referrals, 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 referrals. So now, if you are getting this while the customer's there and it's in front of you, we obviously then are going to point them in the right direction. So if maybe you have a CSR doing this and they're saying, yeah, I trust you to insure my friends or family, the CSR needs to be on top of that and be like, great, can you think of anybody offhand? You know, or at least get it over to a sales producer so they can follow up with this person. All right, and then in the bottom, you'll see the name and their email. All right, this sheet has been gold. Not just, I created it when I was an agent, obviously, and it worked like gangbusters for me. In fact, this one works so well. I was with Allstate, and they actually incorporated it into our regional marketing. You know, it worked really well, and I don't know if they're still doing it or not, but I didn't copyright it, so I guess they are. So anyway, this is something that is just can hit a home run for you on every interaction that you have right here. Okay. All right, and then I wanted to show you guys, just those of you that aren't in the universe, which, by the way, hang tight, I'll show you how you can get into the universe. We got 10 spots left for it this week. Real quick, I don't want to make you guys too dizzy here. So under the done for you templates part in your playbook, when you're in the universe, you got a bunch of other stuff, but let me go down. Oh, clicked on the wrong one. I don't think it's that. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry. There we go. A lot of people ask me about gathering leads and telemarketing. This doesn't necessarily have anything to do with follow-up. All right. But this is the script we use. All right. And this I actually got 12 years ago. I worked with a guy who actually is the same guy I ended up selling my agency to. It was funny. We split paths and we came back together, and he's kicking butt right now too, by the way. So here's the telemarketing script. Hi, Karen. This is Joe from the Davis Agency in Binghamton, New York. How are you doing today? Wait for a response. I'm just calling to give you a quote on auto insurance, see if we can save you some money. What type of vehicles do you currently drive? And then we were quiet. This script on telemarketing, guys, was amazing. Absolutely amazing. It killed it. Absolutely killed it every time. You know, we would end up in a 2-3 hour span, 20, 25 quotes. You know, and as many people think that telemarketing is dead, let me tell you something. If you get a telemarketing lead, it's a good lead. All right. Granted, you might have to go through a lot of dials, but if you match the script right up and the follow-up, you're going to have a lot of success. And I had a lot of people ask me about this, so I wanted to show it to you today. Okay. And once again, if you're part of the universe, you have access to all this stuff. And by the way, if you're not part of the universe, what I'm looking at right now is just a portion of it. This is just the playbook. All of our products pretty much have a similar design to them. Kind of stuff. Anyway, so that's something I wanted to show you. All right. And there's certain things that, anyway, I won't go through the whole thing today. But so first and foremost, I want to ask you guys a question. Give me just a second. I switch screens. Now, I know we just went through a ton in a short amount of time. But in this time together, I want to ask you something. Do you feel that what we have gone over today, any part of it, has any part of this been useful? I'm on a little bit of a delay, so I'll wait for some answers. I'm like 20-second delay from you. Has any of this stuff been useful in this time together? I know it's been a little overwhelming. Hopefully not too overwhelming, though. Awesome. Cool. This is just one tiny portion of what can make your agency soar and skyrocket, right? You know, there's a ton of other stuff. We can't cover everything in this short span. Even if I had an entire day, I wouldn't be able to tell you everything I want to tell you, right? But I do have something that will give you everything on every process that you need to know. Everything from staffing to sales to quoting to referrals to scripts, direct mail, coaching, everything in between that I didn't even mention. I have something that I want to show you. So basically, I want to make sure our old habits, that they die hard. All right. And what I want to make sure, and the reason I say that is I don't want this just to be another training where you go, you learn something, you take some notes, and nothing happens. All right. So what I want to be different is implementation. I want to make sure you guys implement not just what we learned today, but everything in the underground agency. Because, you know, in a short amount of time, we have gotten almost I don't want to call it a coalition, but almost 1,000 agents that are following through our processes and are having tremendous success with it. That's why we keep doing things. I'd be out of business if that wasn't the case. So I do want to introduce to you today the Underground Agency Universe. And this is the last day this week. We're going to open it. All right. It was open enrollment for Monday and Tuesday. And I'm going to show you why it's limited. All right. So we're going to open it up. I'm going to show you kind of what you get with the universe. So first and foremost, and I can't stress this part enough, guys, you not only get access to everything I have now, but you get access to everything I create into the future, right? Everything. So if I create a new product, for example, tomorrow, we're creating a brand new referral product. That's a paid webinar tomorrow. It's not a free one. And that product is going to get sold separately. But if you have the universe, you'll get it automatically on your dashboard. All right. So you're going to access everything I have now and into the future. Now, everything I have now, we just showed you the playbook, right? And that's normally a monthly rate. Also, our digital masterclass. So it's the same setup as the playbook, but except for the playbook, this is how to transform every aspect of your agency from offline to online. All right, so offline to online, that's social media, email marketing, and everything in between when it comes to websites, funnel creation, you name it. All right, that original class was about $1,200, and people that have it now, they pay again another monthly rate. And you'll see you know what I'm getting at here. The next thing is the Sales Producer Masterclass. This was fun. Agents and staff participated in this. Okay, because what this class was intended to do was give your sales producer a kick in the butt and motivation. All right, same with your staff, not just sales producers, but staff in general. but also gives the agent some awesome staff ideas to make sure every single day your staff is coming in, working as hard as you are to hit your goals. And it does just that. Also, you get the Underground Academy, which means each month we go through something very specific and hammer it down. This month was email marketing. All right, so every single month we go in and we have something different for you. Now, currently, all of these are a separate monthly charge. And so if you were to do these all monthly, that's the amount per year you'd be spending, $5,829. All right, and we have a lot of people that were doing that, but I decided back in January I was going to make it different. All right, and so I have some testimonials. I really don't like reading them out loud. I'll just let you guys read it. But so when I did this initially in January, we did an initial launch, and I opened up 40 spots. And you're going to see why I'm limiting it in a second. And so we haven't opened it up really since then, maybe once or twice for a couple spots. We opened it again. I opened it again this week for training. And so we started on Monday with 40 spots, 40 additional spots available, and we're down to 10. And I can tell you, so you're telling me the first 2 days we went through 30 spots. Today's the last day. As of tomorrow, I'm not going to offer it anymore. All right. And so it's working mainly for exclusive and independent agents, but I also have life and financial specialists. I have a couple medical and healthcare employee benefits type providers in here as well. All right. So I had two choices when I did this. I could go as cheap as possible, sell as many as possible, but not have time to update it, do the resources, and have some of the extra perks that come along with this. The second one is require a tiny bit of a higher investment, but get to provide all that great content that's going to guarantee success. Also makes all that updates and all the information, all these trainings, so stuff doesn't get stagnant, because that's the last thing we want. All right, think about what it would be worth if you could excel in your agency, create 4 times the amount of sales, have your staff working better for you every day, and having a perfect digital presence. If you could do that for just 3 months, how much money is that worth to you? Maybe a year or 10 years, or be able to actually have the retirement you want, not be in the office all the time, give your family the life they deserve. And let's think about our other marketing investments, right? So our paid leads, and these are estimates, obviously. Okay, but this could be very well what you're spending or close to a year, right? And then let's think about our return. We want to know our return, or else it doesn't make sense to do it. So I do have my boot camps where people pay $2,500 a day, and I come and I set everything up for them, right? And if you had the means, obviously you would pay $2,500 if it meant you get a return of millions over a lifetime. I'm not asking you to do that today. I'm just putting an example out there. But I also threw in this. You're going to get the whole full email marketing plan. That's all the templates. They're all customizable. I opened it up for this whole week, not just, I know it says the first 20. Anybody that does it this week is getting this. I did it for all 40. All right, so you're going to get all these, the bonus of the email marketing templates, the playbook, the masterclass, the academy, and the sales producer masterclass for a total value of $6,326. And also I'm throwing in, now I will say one of the masterclasses is what we did today, the follow-up. All right, but I've sold these 3 in the past for $1,000. Once again, it's not just for 15, it's for anybody that signed up this week. All right. So you get all that good stuff, playbook, digital, sales producer, academy, the email marketing templates, the bonus masterclass, total value $7,323. And now this is why I limit it, because this is the first product that I have ever offered, the first membership I have ever offered, where you get a 1-hour accountability coaching call with me personally each month. Normally the $200, you get it every month for however long you sign up. All right, and that's why I can't just sign up 1,000 people, because I'd have no time to do anything else. All right, but after this week, we'll have 80, and that's plenty for me. So this thing is not going to be open again for a long time, at least with the coaching benefit. All right? So if we total all this up, if I sold it separately, which I have, all right, we're looking at $9,723. However, what if it gave you just that kick in the butt you need to run the business like you've always imagined? Cut out all those expenses. That's an average of what these processes and these memberships, the expenses you can cut out. How much would that be worth? Make it so you have to worry about your staff on a daily basis, right? Make it autopilot is really what we're searching for here, right? Free up your time as a business owner. And what if you could not be there, but the office was still making you money? What can you put a dollar amount on that? I think, I don't know what it would be, but it's different for everybody, but you can't. So if I gave this, we did the total at $9 grand a year. If I gave it at $5 grand a year, you could see why it'd be a good deal. However, because you're here and we got 10 spots left, All right. This is what we're doing. We are breaking it up depending on how you want to do it. $197 a month. If you want to save more money, go $497 a quarter, $1247 for the year, or believe it or not, what most people do is the lifetime. That way they don't have to ever pay another thing again. And so now on the right-hand side, you are going to see an offer button come up, and that is your instant access to get started today, and you get automatically enrolled. All right, and nothing else you have to do. So depending on what you do here, you choose monthly, quarterly, yearly, or lifetime. You save a lot of money depending on which plan you take. And now to give you retrospect, our playbook was selling for just $197 a month by itself, right? And then the masterclass was, I think, $147, Academy was $67, and then the sales producer class was $97, right? But I'm doing all this for $197 a month, okay? So let's talk about time versus money real quick here, guys. As insurance agents, we have a very unique opportunity, whereas we have a monthly check that comes in. For what ends up happening is we get money every single month and it gets replenished. The one thing that never gets replenished from us is time. So I've always been the type, and I know a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs are, where I'll spend some money if it can save me a lot of time. And that's what this type of stuff does. All right, it's going to be a guide to every single thing you need to know about getting a booming agency going. And it's also going to let me talk to you and coach, and whether that coaching can be with you as an agent, your staff, whatever. Okay, it can be with any of that. Okay, and so that's why I do time versus money, is because I want to give you the guide. I want to just not have you figure out what to do, just do it. I want to figure it out for you and then have you go do it because I know it works. All right, and the one reason I know it works is, guess what? Trial and error. Trial and error. I've messed up in the past, and it's 10 years of doing this, spending a lot of money figuring it out until I got it right. Okay? So real quick, everything you're going to get, remember, not just this, but anything we do in the future. So you're also going to get the referral program we're coming out with tomorrow, or doing tomorrow. It'll come out next week. And then I'm also, after that, going to be running a full email marketing product, and you'll get access to that as well. Total value, $9,723, but yours is going to be just the $197 a month. Now, a great, or the other options. So one great thing I love about Robert Kiyosaki was this quote he had from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It was, poor people spend money on liabilities like cars, boats, toys, whereas wealthy people spend money on assets. That's your business investments, your education, and good sound marketing. Right? But that's always stuck with me ever since I read that book. If you haven't read that book, I don't care if you're dad or not, read the book. It's a good book. All right, here's Chris. Chris has been with me for a long time. And in fact, when I met Chris, it was when I first started the coaching business. And he actually became the #1 scratch agent for Allstate Insurance in the state of Washington. And, you know, obviously he did a lot. He put his hard work into it. I'd like to think I helped a little bit. I don't want to take anything away from him, though, because he's a hardworking, smart guy. But just somebody that's been with me for a while. Now, two choices. The first one, as usual, you can just do nothing. Don't take a tiny leap of faith. Wake up tomorrow in the same position you are today. But, you know, I got to ask you, why are you here? Why have you sat in on this training? Maybe the other ones. Why have you sat in on? Because you have the knowledge of knowing that you don't know everything, right? And you want to be better. And so that's why you're here. So that could be your first option, is just end up the same as tomorrow. Or the second is take a little small investment today. Think about all the value you get. And I'm going to guess you spend a lot more than this on like 20 internet leads. Right? And think about how many of those you might have closed. Okay? So click the offer button to your right, get started with instant access immediately. 10 of them are, that's all we got left for. I haven't checked to see how many are gone already. But I haven't taken the link down either, so I guess you can get into it. Now, the other thing I have is my 365-day insane guarantee. That is actually on top of the cancel anytime guarantee too. Okay? So 3 parts of this. Compelling message. So if you can't figure out why something's not working with the market, I'm going to work with you on generating the perfect message to market match, which is important if you set it on Monday. If your sales producers are not closing at higher rates or just not getting it, I'm more than happy to work with them one-on-one. And if you're not able to show any improvement in sales numbers, I will give you the continuous coaching, not just the hour a month, but as much as we need to get this thing done. Thank you, Karen. Absolutely. So click the offer button to your right. Get rolling today. The real question is worth a few minutes of your time and a couple bucks to check it out. Imagine if it gives you just like half the results of what I've already said so far. It's already paid for itself tenfold in a month. Okay? If you do all this stuff together, along with what we coach, you guys will be firing all cylinders. And there's a tale of two people I like to go over. So the first guy on the left, that's somebody I don't like working with. That's the person that sits on training, takes notes, never implements it, never takes the leap of faith, and they wonder why the heck they're in the same position day in, day out, month in, month out. Our clients, my clients, are the ones on the right who understand they want to take initiative, make a difference, make a change, and not be scared to do it. And that's who I like working with, is the guy on the right. Okay? So real quick, a recap. You're going to get the playbook, the digital masterclass, the sales producer masterclass, our bonuses we're putting in here, and the academy, right? Total value, $9,723. And today, depending on what you do, you could save a ton of money. Like I said, most people do the year of VIP just because of how much money you save off it. But you have the other options there. So click the offer button to your right. And then, you know, you'll get going, and then you'll have a place right there. We'll set up our first coaching call. Awesome. Now, remember, guys, I'm not unique or special. All right. I'm really not. I personally never been the smartest person in a room. It took me like 4.5 years to get an associate's degree, believe it or not. You know, and that's could have been part laziness, part whatever. You know, I spent 10 plus years of trial and error with all this stuff, figuring out how just to get it right. Okay. Sal, that's our marketing program. But I think you still do have access to it though. So let me check, Sal, and I'll email you. I think you do, because that was something else you already had. You can spend countless hours and even more money to do it the hard way, or just be part of what I like to call this mastermind, right? So let's think about why you're on today. Are you on today just to waste 45 minutes of your time, think of a new idea, but never do anything with it? Or are you here to make a change? And that's what I want you to do today, is make a change. All right, so click the offer button to your right, make a change today. That way we can start getting together. I can start talking to you on a monthly basis. You have access to all our stuff, not just now, but into the future. All right, so with all of this, not just what the universe is, but with our training today, what questions do you guys have that I can answer for you? I want to answer any questions. This is live, of course, so this is not a recording. And Sal, I'll look into that. I'll let you know. What questions do we have? All right, well, I think we got, and my stuff's a little delayed, so I think we got 6 spots left. It's not going to be offered tomorrow, Friday. So after today, the universe will not be open again. And if it is, it's not going to have the coaching component. It's going to be the same price. Okay. So remember, that's everything you get. Total value, $9,723. All right, we got a question. Let's see. Audrey, let me just read it real quick. So Audrey, basically what I would say to do is, we're not going to call them with follow-ups if they're on the do not call list, but I don't have an issue emailing or mailing them. So you're going to still use your direct mail and your email to follow up on those prospects. Yeah, you're not going to call them because you don't want to get in trouble with the do not call rules. But you're still going to put them in your queue and mail and email them out on follow-ups, requotes, renewals, all that good stuff. Yep. Does that help? Does that clear it up a little bit? What other questions? Either about the training we did today or the universe. Great. Awesome. I'll hang on the line for a minute here just to see. All right, my system quit updating, so I don't know exactly how many we have left. But hey, I'll leave it open, and whoever gets in, gets in. So I'll just do that. So like I said, today's just about 2% of what the entire universe entails. If you like this today, I guarantee you're going to love everything in our universe. Absolutely. And I think the biggest thing people, you know, they love the digital products and the trainings and all that, obviously. Sal, if you have access, and I'm going to check, if you have access to the playbook and stuff in the universe, you'll be able to print the scripts right from there. But I'll make sure. If not, I'll let you know. But I'm pretty sure you guys should have access to it. I think Maxine took care of that a while back. All right, what other questions we got here, guys? About either the universe or the training, or just questions in general, I guess. All right, well, what I'll do is I'm going to mute myself. I know some of you are probably still making a decision on whether the universe is right for you or not. If you didn't buy at first, I mean, there's probably a few reasons for it. If you think it's too much to do, don't worry. I will guide you through the important parts. So we are on a priority sequence. You know, if for some, I think he lives in Binghamton actually, Karen. You know, if you think it's too expensive, I get it. We got to watch our costs. But once again, let's think about what we spend on a monthly basis and what we get out of it. You know, and this one is something that you are going to be holding me accountable for. If it doesn't work, I'm going to coach you through how it works. It's not like an internet lead service where, oh, here's your lead, good luck, right? And so, you know, I want to make sure that you're comfortable with that. It is cancel anytime. If after a month or the quarter or whatever you pick, it's not working, all right? You know, if for some reason it's not working or whatever, then you just let me know and we'll make it work. Let's see, quick preview for tomorrow. You guys want a preview, huh? All right, hold on. Not quite done with the presentation, so don't judge me. So tomorrow, it's a paid webinar if you haven't signed up. It's $37, but it's going to eventually be a $200 product. So how about I will give you the agenda. This is our agenda for tomorrow. Yeah, Audrey, actually, I know a lot of people that have a lot of success with lenders. And in fact, there's some trainings on that I do within the universe too. Yeah, it can be very beneficial, especially if you have a couple really good ones. That and real estate agents. Yep. So that's a little, like I said, it's not done yet. I still have some finishing touches I want to make to it. But yeah, this tomorrow is going to be a full product eventually. And I will have one more email go out tomorrow. I actually have a lot of people signed up for it already, but it is a paid one, right? It's a $37 paid webinar because, like I said, it's going to end up being a $200 product. But if you have the universe, you're going to get it automatically. You don't have to pay anything extra. Yep. Is that what you're looking for, Sal? I know you probably want me to give you the whole thing right now, but. Oh, we're also going to talk about our holes in the bucket. Right? So there's your holes in your bucket of your agency. There's where you're going to lose really the most leads in sales, I should say, not leads, but sales. Okay. All right, so that's just a little bit of what we're doing tomorrow. If you haven't signed up yet, you'll see an email. Well, you can do it off the email you got today or wait for the email tomorrow. That's kind of our agenda. And like I said, it's not 100% done yet. I'll get it finished up tonight. Other than that, what other questions do we have here, guys? I want to throw on, make sure everybody that got into the universe wants to get in the universe gets into the universe. You bet, April. Absolutely. Glad you joined me for a few trainings this week. And we have another one Friday that's free too, guys. So keep a lookout for that. I'll send out another email. All right, I'm gonna mute, not hang up. I'm gonna mute, and then I'll leave this up here. If you have questions, I'll still be hanging around. And other than that, guys, I appreciate, as always, for you hanging out with me. I love doing this stuff. That's why I love my job. It's super fun. I appreciate it. And if you have any questions whatsoever, always email me at joe@imwithdavis.com. All right, guys, talk to you later. Bye. Yeah, Sal AM. Yep. Yep. And also it's if you still have the email from today, Sal, it's in there too for tomorrow. Yep. Audrey, yeah, generally you do need to be part of the underground. However, because I like you guys, which ones were you looking for, Audrey? Well, you know, I'll send you all three. That's fine. Give me just a sec. They're links, so give me a second here. All right. First one is the follow-up process. Second one is going to be the 3 W's. Yeah, Yasmin, or do you want me to just give you a call? Either way is fine. And then the last one, Audrey, I'll put as the post-purchase, because I think you were one of the ones that said you didn't really have. Oh, the telemarketing? Okay. Yeah, I'm not that stingy. Just got to find the link. Hold on. All right, last one here is the telemarketing. Hopefully that's what you're looking for. Now, if you're working on Internet Explorer, they might be temperamental with that. So you might want to be on Chrome or Firefox opening up those links. Honestly, I really don't know. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Did I? Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry. I meant to throw that one in there. Give me just a second. Sorry about that. I think I got looking for the telemarketing one and I just completely forgot. Oh, stop. I'm talking to myself, nobody. Sorry. See if this looks right. There you go. That one should be the post-purchase. Okay. Yasmin, I will send you a message on here if you're still on. This message is me going just to you. Okay, what other questions? There's still a few of you on the line, so I'm thinking you might have questions on something. If not, I'm just hanging out to hear my voice. I appreciate it. Video. That's what I've always been told. All right, well, I'm going to hop off. I'll leave this on. Yasmin, if you want to give me a call, I am good for the next half hour. I don't have any other appointments till 5 p.m. Eastern. So give me a buzz, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Audrey, actually, first, Andre, no, but you'll get the products on your dashboard. Does that make sense? It's just, and it's not that I don't want to give you free access tomorrow. It's literally the way the webinar's set up. I can't. I know that doesn't make sense, but you'll get the copy of it. Actually, you know what? Because I did see your purchase. You know what? Yeah, I actually can make it work. You know what? I can. I'll send you, Andre, I'll send you a link that you will use to get in there because of your purchase today. And if you already paid for it, I got to look back at my records. I'll refund it. I don't think you, I don't know if you did or not. Let me look. Give me just a second. All All right, yeah. So hang tight, and what I'll do, Andre, is I will shoot you a link over, and it's going to be kind of a fast pass link because of your purchase today. Okay. And Audrey, no, unfortunately, it's a Word document. Actually, you know what I could do? Do you want me to just, I'll copy and paste it and email to you on an email? Then you just copy and paste it? That might work, right? I don't see why it wouldn't. Whoops. Hold on. Let me get to it here. And it might not look as pretty, but the info will be there. All right, I'm just going to capture email here real quick. I like that domain, Andre. It's a good one. It doesn't look as pretty, but I'm going to send it over to you now. But at least it's there. You can copy and paste it. So there you go. You should get that any second, Audrey. Excuse me. Anybody else? I'm going to hang here for a minute. I'm going to mute my mic, though. And if you're keeping score at home, we got 3 spots left. And the replay goes out to people that didn't attend. And so they'll be gone by tonight, if not now. So 3 spots left. Cancel anytime. Damon, so it hasn't happened yet. I'll be honest with you. And in fact, I've yet to have a cancellation. But if you did the lifetime, then we would figure out a prorated amount. Yep. Haven't had it happen yet, so I haven't had to do it. But that's kind of what I always have with lifetime or things like that. We figure out a prorated amount. Yep. I don't know if that really answers your question or not, but.